Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Happy Koloss Head Munching Day by Calvinball. So Calvinball and myself share the love of Brandon Sanderson's stories, his books, and his birthday is today, December 19th, and he calls it Koloss Head Munching Day. It's like kind of an in-universe holiday to celebrate his birthday. So we thought we'd celebrate his birthday as well with this puzzle. All right, so let's go over the rules. We have a group of large, a group of large monsters is approaching our hero's position. Our hero must find a way through the field and vanquish them before the monsters arrive at camp. So we're going to be starting with this wizard, and we're going to be drawing some kind of path that goes through all the monsters and then ends at camp. All right, so we have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules, so in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We're going to be drawing a 1-cell wide snake that moves orthogonally. So I'm going to highlight cells for where the snake goes. The snake is allowed to do things like this, right? What it's not allowed to do is move diagonally. It has to be connected orthogonally, meaning it has to share an edge as it continues. In addition to that, it's not allowed to touch itself. Here, it is touching itself diagonally. That's not allowed. So we'd have to do something like this instead. We also can't touch ourselves orthogonally, basically meaning you can't make a thick boy. You can't do something like this, right? Where you could say, well, the snake's doing this path here, but it came back around and touched itself orthogonally, and that's not allowed either. So you got to draw a 1-cell wide snake that does not touch itself even diagonally. The snake begins and ends at the hero and the camp. The hero camp cells also, the snake begins and ends at the hero and the camp. The hero/camp cells also give the number of snake cells in their box. The snake, I'm going to say we begin at the hero and end at the camp. If that ends up being the case, I will probably change the wording on these rules because that's a bit confusing. How do you begin and end at two different cells? You can't. All right. So I think what it means is we're beginning at the hero and we're ending at the camp. All right. The hero camp cells also give the number of snake cells in their box. So if the snake does this and doesn't return, then this would be a 3 because there are 3 snake cells in the box. Both the hero and camp cells must be low digits, so 1, 2, or 3. All right. Monsters must be on the snake, so we have to actually intercept the monsters, and it will always be a high digit, a 4, 5, or 6. In addition to that, the snake is a German whisper line. Adjacent digits along the line. So let's say the snake did this. Adjacent digits along the line, say these two and these two, right? Any adjacent digits along the line must have a difference of at least 3. So if this was a 2, this could be maybe a 5, because 5 minus 2 is 3. But now this actually wouldn't have any options because it couldn't be a 5, it couldn't be a 6. Those are only 2 digits that are at least 3 away. If we try to do, say, a 4, 4 minus 2 is only 2. That is not at least 3. All right, and that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. All right, we know all of these cells are on our snake, so we're going to start with that. We also know that these are from 1, 2, 3, and these are from 4, 5, 6. All right. So we can't go straight to the camp. That's not going to work because we have to hit the monsters first. So we're going to be going left or down. 1, 2, or 3. Well, this isn't going to be a 1 because we have to get out. So we have at least 2 cells in this box. Same here. We have to get in. At least 2 cells in this box. So this being a 2 or a 3, it actually can't be a 3 because the next cell, whether it's to the left or down, is going to have to follow the German whisper line rule. And the only digit that's 3 away from 3 is the 6. So because there's a 6 in this box already, that can't be our next cell. If I were to try to make this a 3, this would have to be a 6, or this would have to be a 6 to be the next one on the line. That's not going to work. So that's a 2 and that's a 3. So now we know that it's going to beeline out. That's the only way, because if it takes any kind of detour, it's going to have more than 2 cells in this box. Now this uses 3 cells in the box, and the next cell needs to be a 6. So it cannot go down. It has to go over here and get the 6 from here. But now it's only 3 in the box, so if we kept going here, we'd end up with at least 4. So we have to go down, and then we have to leave. Now this is a 1 or a 2 to be next to a 6. This has to be the 5. And then this is a 1 or a 2 to be next to 5, but 2 is used. 3 is too close to 5, so it has to be a 1. All right, now this is next to a 1 or a 2. This has to be a 4 or a 5. Okay. That got us started. So we know that none of these are going to be snake. Now, if I tried to go right here, then I could have, if I eventually came back and would have to come back and take this zombie, I'd be touching myself diagonally. So I'm definitely not going right, which means I'm going down or left. Either way, I'm taking this zombie next. So if I were to go left, it would have to be a 2. It sees 1 and 3. If I were to go down, it would have to be a 1 or a 2. Darn, okay, so it doesn't necessarily force anything there. Oh, okay. Actually, I'm seeing an issue here. If we went down, this would be a 1 or a 2 to be next to 4 or 5. In fact, this wouldn't be able to be a 4 because this would force both of these to be 1s. But so this would be 5. This would be a 1-2 pair. But the question I have is, where does 3 go in this column now? Because none of these are 3, and these would share a box with 3. So that doesn't work. So I actually have to go left. And this is not 1 or 3. So this is a 2. Now next to 2, we cannot put a 4. So this is 5 and this is 6. This can be 1 or 2. This is not 6. So the rest of this column is 1, 4, 5. That's not a 5. So we're not going to turn right. We'd be touching ourselves. If we turn left, we'd have to close the loop or we touch ourselves diagonally and we would miss these 2 monsters. So we're not going left either, which means our only option is to go down, which is what made sense, just to connect these. And so this has to be a 1 in order to be 3 away from 6. This is a 4 and this is a 5. If we turned right, we get stuck. So none of these are on the snake. So, and this can't be on the snake where we touch ourselves. So we're just going to go left. This is a 1 or a 2 to be next to a 5. And since we can't go up, we're going to go left again. And this is going to be next to 1 or 2. This has to be a big digit. So it has to be a 4 or a 6. 4 wouldn't work. We know that this snake continues in some direction. And so, and if it continues here or continues here, these 2 will be in the same box, meaning we have to have 2 different digits. And a 4 forces a 1 to be in both of them. So this is never going to be a 4. This has to be a 6. All right. And now we know it's going to pick up this zombie either by going left or going up. This is a 1, 2. This is a 3, 4 pair. This is a 1, 2, 4. That's not 1. Okay, so we can't go up and pick up this zombie because 3, 4 is too close to 4, 5. Nothing there is 3 away. Next to 4, 5, we need a 1 or a 2. So it doesn't go there. It goes here, making this the 1 or a 2 that we needed. That's a 1, 2 pair. This is 3, 4, 5. 1, 2 pair places 4 here. And this is 2, 6. This is the 2. This is the 6. That gives us the 1 here. This digit's a 3, giving us 4 and 3. We know this is not on the snake. It's not a 3. Okay, and we know this is going to go up. And so again, this can't be a 4. It would force double 1 there. So this is 5, this is 4. So this has to be a 1 or 2 to be next to 5. The 1 is gone, so that's 2 and that's 1 and that's 2. And now 2 can't be next to 4, so we better go up to finish our path. And this has to be a 5 or a 6, but 5 is used, so that's our 6. And we have our path. Very nice. All right, so the rest of it is not path. And we can finish our Sudoku here. So this is a 4, this is a 5, this is a 3, and this is a 1. Up here we need a 5, down here we need a 2. Down here we need 3, and then we need the 1 and the 4. All right, you've done it. The threat has been neutralized, and you may now rest safely. Happy birthday, Brando Sando. All right. Cool. That was a neat puzzle, Calvinball. I enjoyed that. I'm going to update the rules a little bit, as I said, just to make it clear that we start at the hero and end at the camp. Cool. Well, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.